Let's talk Tanya for the 25th of Kislev, the first day of Hanukkah. In the last 2 days, we've discussed the two identities which together comprise the identity of the Jewish person, the animal soul and the godly soul. We know what they are. The animal soul is klipa. The godly soul is godliness. But we have ways to go in understanding how they function, what do their operating systems look like, and that's what we're going to be talking about right now. We're going to be talking about the structure and the components of both the godly soul and the animal soul. First, we're going to discuss the godly soul, and then later on, we'll talk about the animal soul. So, in previous segments, we talked about how Tanya is about achieving or attaining a certain internal state, and which that automatically leads to behavior. Let's talk about that a little. What is this internal state, or what is the internal structure of the soul, which ultimately leads to behaviors? So, the godly soul is comprised of, generally speaking, 10 components. 3 of them are intellectual components, 7 of them are emotional components. And in today's Tanya, we're going to talk about the intellectual components, or 2 of the intellectual components of the godly soul. Chochmah and Binah, which are commonly translated as wisdom and understanding. But perhaps more useful definitions of them would be Chochmah would be awareness or intake, and Binah would be processing. Let me explain. For anything to happen internally or externally, any behavior to happen, any feelings to happen, the very first thing that needs to happen is we need Chochmah, which means intake or awareness. Meaning I need to become aware of something. How do I become aware of something? Well, I can become aware of something from outside of me, or I can become aware of something because something emerges from my subconscious, in which case it's like a flash that enters my mind. And that is called Chochmah, that original piece of information that I absorb. Once I have that information, the next step is Binah. Binah is processing. I have some information, but now I need to take it, I need to mentally process it. I need to understand its implications. I need to understand its applications. I need to figure out better. I need to understand it in a much deeper and more comprehensive way. And these two together, Chochmah and Binah, awareness and processing, ultimately they lead to creating emotions, as we will find out, God willing, in tomorrow's Tanya.